I'm Mac James, stand-up comic, and it's time for Stand Up for News. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome, listeners, to another adventurous episode of Stand Up for News. I am Mac James, your host. I am a stand-up comic. I am James Esterline. Here's my co-host, Robin Macho Woman Savage. Say hello.
Hello, everyone out there in Stand Up for News land.
And over here is my other co-host, Captain Jim Marvin. Welcome back. Say hello, Captain Jim.
Ahoy, mateys. Thank you, James.
All right. We have other co-hosts that are going to be calling in. They're, I don't believe, online yet, right?
No, we do. We got Russell with us.
Oh, Russell X Mania Stars. Say hello, Russell.
Hey.
All right, and then we have a very special guest, stand-up comic out of Pasco County, EJ Salter. Say hello.
Hello.
Awesome. So what we are, we're stand-up comics. We stand up for the news because the news can't stand up for itself. It was born in a wheelchair, and it's like got no legs and stuff. So if like a bully tries to shake him down at school, they call us here at 727-411-3000. Anybody can call in if they want.
727-441-3000.
What I said? I said
No,
411.
you said 411. This is the 411. No, this is 441-3000.
He's giving you
Thank
the
you,
Get
Matt.
some information.
Thank you, Matt. So yeah, 441-3000. Don't call us though. We got enough on our hands. If you do, we might talk to you. I don't know.
Don't call us.
We're brought to you by Birdie's Bar on Belcher. We have an open mic comedy show there every Wednesday at 7:30. So first, before we get into the news, which needs to be stood up for, we're not like the left and right, CNN and Fox and all that, because we stand up for both sides of the news. We don't care, right? And we already know we're full of crap. So, EJ, did you bring
Shanahan Red Wings jersey?
Oh, yeah. Go Wings. I'm a Lightning fan, too, now, though. I've been here a while. So, EJ, did you bring some news to stand up for?
Absolutely. How do you come for the news and not bring some news?
Because we have had some guests with those directions be like, hey, you're coming on, you got to find some news to stand up for, and then they don't. They just come on and like, oh, I didn't do that.
I understood.
I didn't do that homework assignment. They got an F, yeah. They haven't been back. Not all, I mean that they aren't welcome back, but if they're going to come back, they need to bring it. So, moving right along, let's get into the news. I will start out and we will go round robin. Is that, no, that's not the thing. Counterclockwise. Starting with Robin. Starting with my roundest Robin here. All right, last week, it was hopeful that a Geneva man is actually cured of HIV with this new technique that they came up with some stem cell treatment. Coincidentally, his contraction of HIV stems from him being in a cell.
Oh. And this was in Geneva, Switzerland?
I don't know. The guy was Genevan.
Geneva, Alabama.
I'm assuming so.
That's not relevant.
Okay, Britney Spears sold 1.1 million copies of her book in her first week of being released. This comes after a 13-year conservatorship. Stand Up for News Broken Family reporter reached out to Spears' estranged parents who said, "We sure are going to miss our baby girl's money."
So the Russians and Ukrainians are sounding like Jon Snow right now. Winter is coming. Okay? The war has outlasted everyone's expectations. We've passed around the 630-day mark. So anybody who bet on Ukraine outholding the Russians for this long, kind of like betting on the autistic kid to take home the prom queen.
EJ, sorry, we kind of got to give him a short interview real quick. When did you start doing stand-up comedy? First question for you.
The second week of June this year, actually.
So only about, what's that, 11 months or something like that?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I see James is an math major, 5 months.
All right.
It's Polk County math.
Well, that's good. How's it been going? Well, how was your first set, and where were you at your first set?
So my first set was actually at Ordinance 1.
Oh, okay. What are you talking about?
With Stefano Capricato. He runs that room. So a buddy of mine actually was doing stand-up, and he and I had talked, and I was like, bro, I'm funny. And he goes, yeah, but I'm out here doing it, and you're not. So either come out and do it or shut up.
Who said that? Stefano?
No. My buddy Anthony Rohn, he's a great comic in the area too. Yeah, dude, that's my boy.
He's cool.
So he said, come out and do it. And I was like, all right, where? And he said, come to Ordinance 1. He gave me a time and date. I wrote some stuff down. Come out, and I hooked ever since.
How'd the first set go?
Great.
You didn't bomb?
No.
Oh, good.
Got a couple chuckles.
All right, I like to hear that. Sometimes people that have a bad experience their first time. So where's your favorite room to perform at?
Well, I run a couple of rooms. The Cigar Castle is my favorite room to perform at because it pays well.
Oh yeah, that's always good.
That's what's up.
But Tidal in Spring Hill, the promoter there, Ryan Cleveland, is so fun. Builds good energy. That's a good spot, and the beer is never bad. Ordnance 1 is a fun spot too because that's downtown. The owner Brett is amazing. You know, that guy's got what I call a heart of gold. You can't pass character like that in life without recognizing it.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
I like authentic people.
Well, a friend of mine's brother passed shortly before I got into comedy, and Brett actually held the family's memorial there, and he made all the money that was raised off of that guy's favorite beer was donated to the family to help with the funeral expenses. So you can't pass character like that. That's amazing.
I would have drank a lot of it then.
Yeah. Oh, and we
For a good cause?
Just
He
for
ain't
fun.
anyway. He ain't trying to help anybody.
I just want to drink a lot of it.
Trying to get- Anyway, sorry about that. So, I had another question for you. Okay, so you're getting paid now?
I still do open mics, never
That's
too
about,
big.
you're moving right along. If you're getting paid now, you're doing something right. That's about the same time frame most of us started getting paid after they got into it. After the 6-month mark or something in there. So, Captain Jim, let's get back to the news.
Thank you, James. Yesterday, during a meeting in San Francisco with President Biden, Chinese President Xi Jinping signaled that China will send new pandas to the United States, calling them, quote, envoys of friendship. The pandas will originate from a zoo in Wuhan, China, be stuffed with fentanyl, and will be flown to the U.S. by balloon. Sounds like the usual stuff we get from China, doesn't it?
Was that before or after Biden said he was a dictator?
Good question.
Addicted to dictating. Oh man, what did I say about those pandas? They took 2 of our pandas back a week ago. Remember? They took them from the Smithsonian Zoo. They took them back to China. They got mad. Then now they met with China. They're giving 2 more. If that's the India part of China, isn't that like reverse Indian giving? All right. 2 weeks ago,
Vivo.com.
Mandy Avila reported, our Stanford News reporter, reported on a deer crashing into a bar 1 year after I reported on that, remember? Tearing up the joint. And then the following week, a deer barged right into a lingerie store and destroyed the whole place. Did you hear about that?
I didn't know it was a lingerie store.
Yeah, and then a deer invades a seafood place this week and totally destroys the place. And then today, one was spotted running around through the woods with Halloween decorations entangled in its antlers, you guys. Did you hear about that?
Oh,
What the heck is going on with your staff, Santa Claus? Your employees are destroying everything we hold dear. Courtesy of Jim.
Oh, dear.
These beasts are out of bucking control. Rudolph is now known as the Venison Menace, son. All right. Yeah, your turn, Miss Robin Savage.
Okay, Tracy Chapman became the first Black songwriter to win the Song of the Year at the Country Music Awards for her 1988 classic Fast Car. Ironically, not even that fast car could outrun the racism of the Country Music Award.
Ironically, most country music fans thought that Luke Combs was singing NASCAR. You got a NASCAR.
What would be the following line of that? I like to zoom anyway.
I got a ticket to Talladega Speedway.
I thought you said something else.
That could have gone.
Remember Kramer's car is things that ass man, and you said,
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought you said ask unask car, and then you said NASCAR. Okay, I get it. All right, yeah, your turn, EJ.
So Elon Musk received a warning from the European Union about X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, being filled with misinformation. No way. You mean to tell me a social media platform that allows organizations like Hamas to post on it is filled with misinformation? Get out of here.
All right. In Washington, D.C., the Supreme Court this week is enacting its first code of ethics in the face of criticism over undisclosed trips and gifts from wealthy benefactors to some justices. But the code has no enforcement mechanism. Moments after the codes were put in place, Justice Clarence Thomas jumped on a private jet for an outing paid for by a billionaire to a luxury hunting resort while Thomas shot an endangered pro-choice gay panda bear that illegally immigrated from China that was reading a banned book. Say what you will about Clarence Thomas, his actions always reflect his values. I wonder if that's one of the new pandas we got.
That's what I was just thinking. Let's have a call back to your last panda joke.
It's a Ling Ling. China, I shouldn't. Okay, Danny Elfman, the musical artist. You ever heard of him? He created the famous song, Wild Sex in the Working Class. You ever heard that? Well, he denies these new sex abuse allegations last week. Did you hear about that, guys?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he's a famous guy. His defense was the accuser wasn't even employed at the time. Wild sex in the workplace. He's done a lot of movies too. Yeah. But they were unemployed at the time. Good defense there, bud.
I wonder if that Danny was related to any of those deer reporting, since he's an elf man. Stupid. All right. Okay.
Ho, ho, ho.
That was like the saddest joke of the week.
It's okay, Mom.
Was that our first bombing? That was the first Hamas moment.
That's not how the joke of the day was.
And no,
It was the reverse joke of the day.
Okay.
and no, our first bombing wasn't that. Our first bombing was James trying to tell a joke tonight.
Which one? Which one?
Oh.
Mine have gone over. I don't know.
Stand up for roasting.
Oh.
Which one are you talking about?
Wait. Well,
Which
to
one?
be fair, we had to get a roast in tonight. We're a week out from Thanksgiving.
That's not. I'm not a turkey though, bud.
Well,
You're a jive turkey, not me.
I was just
Who you call a jive turkey? No. Every one of mine have gone over though. If it was true, I would have laughed with you, bud. Not at me.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was saying, speaking of bombing, I'll go with my next joke. In Wisconsin, an old-fashioned cocktail comes with brandy, not bourbon. Some state lawmakers want that to be the official drink. Brandy could not be reached for comment.
She was down at the Tina's House of Angels performing. Yeah, as a bartender, I saw that story, and I'm like, no, brandy does not go in an old fashioned. That's gross. Anybody drink old fashions or bourbon in here?
Nah, you got to have bourbon in it.
Matt, you drink bourbon?
Yeah. Brandy belongs on a stripper pole like the other strippers.
and no, I don't drink bourbon. I'm a whiskey guy.
It's almost the same thing. As
You can do an old fashioned with whiskey.
yeah, the only
Better
difference
than
is
brandy.
bourbon's in Kentucky. Other than that, it's still whiskey. It's bourbon whiskey. Wait, he's right. It
Corn mash
doesn't.
and
Brandy
sour.
doesn't go in an old fashioned. All right. Florida student was bitten by a wild rat at a Buddy Taylor Middle School farm. Why does Buddy Taylor Middle School have a farm? First of all, I don't know. The teacher brought her class out to their farm, their school farm, which makes sense because my girl's a teacher and she says all those kids are animals anyway. When a crazy old nasty, smelly, dirty POS rat bit one of the children. The teacher's being disciplined for not reporting it. But what I want to know is, what was Rick Scott doing on the Buddy Taylor Middle School farm? He thought it was Big Farm.
Campaigning.
He thought it was Big Farm. And he was there to cut a deal with the other rats, right? The teacher must have been a Republican since she didn't report the incident.
Well, James, I think they were training for a class trip to New York City where their rats run everything. I got a bite when I visited last time. At the subway station, right there. I'll put my pants back on now.
I'm pretty sure that teacher was quoted as saying, "I'm not a rat."
Rick Scott is, though. That's for sure. Mom?
Mark Wayne Mullen, the former MMA fighter and current senator of Oklahoma, challenged a Teamster leader to a fight in the Senate chamber on Wednesday. Senator Bernie Sanders had to intervene, saying, "Don't make me take off my earmuffs and mittens and get involved." I only picture Bernie Sanders in that meme.
Isn't that guy right, Tom Sawyer?
Oh, Mark Wayne, yeah.
It really means it's like what they yell out when they measure the Mississippi. Did you know that
It was
Mark Twain is
6 feet.
it's a shout out?
That Mark Twain is
It's
6
actually
feet.
his real name was Samuel Clemens.
Yeah.
All right, EJ, fire one ready.
So David DuPage was found guilty for the hammer attack on Paul Pelosi today. Shocking, because it was on video and we all saw it. And speaking of Pelosi, Nancy was served an eviction notice on her Capitol Hill office, and while she was in California, she said it's petty, it's not fair. She was there to celebrate her friend Dianne Feinstein. She recently passed. And she said, this is petty and it's not fair. I can't even get my stuff. I won't be back in D.C. for a couple of days. Well, now she knows how her voters feel. If it wasn't for all those millions of dollars she has.
A lot of rat stories.
Dirty rat, you dirty rat.
Oh, you killed my brother.
This just in. Rap icon Snoop Dogg announced today that he is going to stop smoking marijuana.
What?
His agent says he also plans to stop drinking alcohol. Well, how is Snoop Dogg going to roll down the street now? Just sipping on juice? That's not what rap stars do. That's what toddlers do.
I think he might have been high when he said that.
Snoop Puppy. yeah, right?
You'd have to be. You'd have to be.
Snoop Puppy Pup.
That's what you get when you hang around Martha Stewart.
She's more gangster than him now.
Yeah, right. Last week.
She rolling.
Okay. My turn. No, is it? Yeah, my turn?
Absolutely.
All right, Russell, check this out. Last week, a pod of killer whales attacked a sailboat in Europe, sinking the vessel and killing all on board. You hear about that? Yeah, marine biologists think it's in retaliation to boats hitting killer whales accidentally here and there, Yeah, and it's a natural defense mechanism. But it sounds like to me this was all pre-orchestrated.
Well, that's a whale of a joke right there, James.
That's a whistle. That's a whistler.
I knew
There you
it. I
go.
blew my whistle on porpoise.
Oh, yeah. Been there, done that.
Okay, so this week was not very great for the Senate and the Republicans kind of getting into fights. GOP Representative Tim Burchett was elbowed in the kidney.
Watch your mouth, Mom. You're going to bleep that out?
Are you not going to offend her?
Burchett? I don't know. Burchett. Tim Burchett
Okay.
was elbowed in the kidney by former Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy. Burchett claims the elbowing was intentional, and why Kevin McCarthy, retaliated by saying, "Milk, lemonade around the back is where fudge is made." They're acting like children.
How tall is she, and how short is he to elbow her in the kidney? You got to get down there to hit a kidney.
It's a bunch of
They're both grown men. They're both grown men. Tim Burchett.
I call Barchett.
Kevin McCarthy.
EJ, what do you got for us?
I wanted to make a joke about the Israeli prime minister's name because it sounds like it's almost inappropriate.
How's it go again?
Oh, it's inappropriate.
Netanyahu.
Yeah, I said he sounds like a cowboy. Yahoo!
It sounds like somebody wanting to
I
perform
love
a sexual
cowboys.
act.
Right?
I'd like to Netanyahu.
That's a new video you can click on Pornhub or something.
Page 59.
I'm on it.
Republican presidential candidate Jim Scott announced late Sunday that he was dropping out of the 2024 race after having trouble gaining traction in the polls due to a lack of name recognition. Oh, correction, the candidate's name is Tim Scott. Jeez, I'm a fake news reporter and I've never heard of him. I'm pretty sure Jim Scott is still in the race, though.
Python snake hunters in Florida team up to catch a massive snake weighing in at 198 pounds. Yeah, I didn't think Rick Scott weighed that much.
He's put on a lot of weight in D.C.
I know he's tall, but... All right, that was quick, so I'll tell another one. On November 8th, a bear steals a Taco Bell delivery right from a Florida family's front porch, caught on a video. Ay, caramba, Russell. Ay, muy loco.
Ay, caramba.
I would have just bought it for you, dude.
Yeah, I would have been happy to go in and share it with him.
I didn't think you liked tacos. I thought you were like into chorizo.
I like burritos.
Mexican
Well, that was a
sausage.
5-layer joke.
That was
There we go.
It was kind of cheesy.
El Caliente.
Extra sour cream.
So James Corden will be starting a new show on Sirius Satellite Radio in the beginning of 2024. 2024. This is a good fit for Corden, who is seriously hated by most of America. Serious.
You can't be serious.
Well, right about now is where we would go into our first segment, which I guess Joe is at work doing tattoos, and Joe is always saying naughty words on a radio show, putting Matt to a lot of hard work at bleeping stuff out. So we created a segment for him called I Swear It's a Curse, which we are not going to have to do. I just like to say I swear it's a curse because I thought it was clever. So is Scott Patrick, man on the street, on the phone yet? He is. Good. Welcome, Scott Patrick. Say hello to the audience.
Hello.
Scott.
Excellent. Welcome. So I was going to tell you a funny one, but I'm going to save it. So don't leave. I want you to hear the one I was telling you about. You kind of helped me write it. So man on the street, Scott Patrick, he could be on any street. Where are you today? The floor is yours.
Well, today is National Oklahoma Day, so I'm actually taking a trip down Pole Creek, which happens to be in Dade, Oklahoma. I would have gone to Straight, Oklahoma, but I wanted to get laid, and I'm not related to anybody here. So,
Hey.
Which is what horses in Oklahoma eat. Hey.
So since next week is Thanksgiving, I did some research on turkey, seeing how it's kind of based around that. And I found out the bird was actually named after the country, which I didn't know. Yeah. But I think it should have been named after the country in Africa called Djibouti. Because then at least once a year I could eat Djibouti. But hold
Oh, you're getting Russell all worked up now. Listen to him.
So I got some other news stories.
All right, fire away.
Okay, so a report gives new details in the shooting death of a University of Tampa student. His name was Senfeld. So I'm thinking if they made a Netflix show after him, it would be called Collegiates in a Car Getting Coffin. So Target is in the news now because they're selling Santas in wheelchairs. So, I mean, what do we call the old Santa? Santa Claus?
That's good. Well, Santa Claus will be rolling into town.
The good thing is that my roof is already ramped. But either way, I won't be happy until he's got one of those straws and he's looking like Peter Frampton.
You know how he got in the wheelchair, right? He got ran over by a reindeer.
Santa got run over.
Yeah. So I got one more. The recent polls show that if the presidential election happened today, Trump would actually be elected president, which I guess just goes to show that the majority would rather have a greasy jerk off while being screwed than having a dry, useless stiff.
I got a Trump one later I want you to hear too. All right. You got the floor still, bud. What else you got for us?
Oh, I got one more. I was saying later. The U.S. seized an estimated $1 billion worth of fake luxury goods in New York. Apparently, the government, wanted to have the monopoly on a false bill of goods.
That's our stuff.
All right.
Those are all the stories I had brought.
You got some weather for later?
Yes.
Okay.
I got weather and...
You got some laughs from the past, our history and news?
Yep.
Okay. Hang on to those. Do you have any more news stuff you can save for later? Do you want to tell us now?
No, that's all I had.
Okay, and then so normally after that we do Stand Up for Black News with our Black Stand Up for News correspondent who apparently is not called in yet. No, yeah, he's on Black People Time according to Primal.
About to say he's running on CPT.
Yep, he's heard of it. So
Obama said it at a press conference.
he likes to brag about how he's going to call in at 5 till 8. Yeah, right. If he does that, Matt, just tell him next week, bud. Sorry. So then we're going to move right along to Russell's reviews. What you got, Russell?
Russell reviews. I know I actually gave you some gay news today.
Oh, Stand Up for Gay News. Good.
Stand up for gay news, and then I got one entertainment one. All right. Now, this is a hard word to say. So, Okay, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, has passed a city ordinance banning homosexual behavior in public places under the thing of indecent behavior. So if you look like you're gay, you can be arrested. I'm going to have to avoid that area because I just prance around all the time with pixie dust following me.
So are you saying
Anybody violating new law is banned from hosting any public events, selling goods, services for 2 years, and if there are minors present, you're banned for 5 years. Now, basically, this covers the Pride Parade.
I guess no work for
That
you
covers
guys.
the Pride Parade. Yeah, so lawyers for the ACLU are right on this, especially the new law would make a Pride Festival illegal. But apparently, the new law was sponsored by California Closets, so they can get us all back in there.
How does that work for bisexual men like Jim?
So for
then it's not a closet at that point. It's simply it's a closet that doesn't have a door. It just has a curtain that swings. You swipe either to the left or to the right, depending on your mood.
You just go in and out of a revolving door if you're bi.
That was my room at the Problem House. It had a revolving door on it. Okay, it was just we didn't have time. Now,
looking gay in Murfreesboro, you can wear a UK Wildcat jersey and get arrested.
I don't know what their definition of it is, so I guess I guess they probably have no gay bars there. I would imagine so. I bet 3 whiskeys. A lot of straight men turn okay. And also today in gay history, I'm going to say this: gay activist pies Anita Bryant in the face.
Oh, I remember that.
Talk about pie a la homophobe. And so I'm just give you my one little quickie entertainment thing. Although I would like to talk about Coyote versus Ackman because they shelved that movie. Now the federal government's getting involved in it. They don't have enough to do. They're worried about, Warner Brothers movies. But on Saturday, November 18th, Mickey Mouse will celebrate his last birthday. Beginning January 1st, 2024, Mickey Mouse is public domain. Disney no longer has a copyright on it. Anybody can do Mickey Mouse. The people that made Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey are going to make a Mickey Mouse horror movie. So we got to celebrate Mickey's final days.
All totals.
Oh, Mickey, you're all mine. You're all mine. Hey, Mickey.
Goofy and Minnie Mouse, all of them are following. So there are days and mornings. So it is part of the gay news story. They're gays in mourning. They won't have their precious Mickey anymore.
That's the first gay history joke I've heard you tell, Larry. History and gay news.
So speaking of Winnie the Pooh, in China, Xi Jinping, I call him Xi Jinping because he's as ridiculous as Juju Schuster. And, he has banned searches for Winnie the Pooh because of comparisons to his face looking like Winnie the Pooh. It's actually that's
now he can.
That's real.
Does that mean when Short's back in office, we won't be able to look up pumpkins?
So I got gay history for you. It was in 1969 in San Francisco. Arsonist burnt down a gay club, killing 139 people, the most people ever killed in an attack. Or whatever, a terrorist attack, which is arson at the time. That's where the term flamers came from, you guys.
Yeah.
Apparently the guy was upset that all the shakes brought the boys to the yard.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So, Primal?
No, but we got Joe on the line instead.
Oh, okay.
Joe Izzo! What's up? Well, we're doing all our segments out of order, aren't we? I put them in this order, but you guys did them like we're all autists. What do you call it? Dyslexic. Yeah. Hey, Joe Izzo, you're here to do your segment for us? Excuse me?
So you want to hear about some words, do you?
What?
I'm having a hard time hearing you guys right now.
Well, we can hear you just fine. Are you going to do I Swear It's a Curse with Joe Izzo?
Oh, yeah, we can do that. Give me 1 second to pull my notes up real quick. I literally just walked in my door, so give me a second. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. That's how I wanted to do this tonight, but work is work.
Yeah, you're a tattoo artist guy, right?
Here it is.
Yeah, we can hear you fine, Joe.
Yeah, I thought he was just
Okay,
calling from fast food restaurant.
let's see.
What'd you say, Scott?
It sounds like he's talking to a fast food restaurant.
Yeah, superstars.
That means he's going to get the order wrong.
Please pull forward to the next window, Joe. And,
I'm going
don't
to get
leave it
onion
on
rings instead of
anybody's front
fries.
porch because Russell's going to steal it.
Yeah,
Are you guys still serving breakfast?
It means he gets paid
it's
more than
unbearable.
Well, Joe, your segment is kind of moving right along, isn't it, bud?
Yeah, it's moving right along. I'm trying speed bumps. You know, I was trying to step into the new age, and I actually put it on my iPad this time instead of writing it in my Bible. That's what I get for not writing in my Bible.
Yeah, aren't
so.
you fancy?
all that hospital
I
jello.
know,
slowed
right?
down.
You got to shut down all those porn sites before you can get to what you actually wrote.
Close the window.
That's
Just
it.
closes his
That's what
whole
I'm doing
browser.
right now. I am actually
And full
fighting
of
pop-up
blinds.
windows.
At least he's pulling the blinds.
Do you want us to go move along until you're ready?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, get it.
All right.
You
well,
can
then,
move along right now. I got
I'm,
this popping up real here. Here we go.
Still doing this day in history?
Yeah, I'm about to do laughs from the past now. This week in history, if I can find. I'll let Jim start out with some history with you guys. How's that sound, Jim?
That sounds great. Let me just.
Okay.
No, I got it.
Jim needs to get his iPad too.
How about Robin?
All right. This week in history, in 1902, a cartoon appears in the Washington Star, prompting the teddy bear craze after President Teddy Roosevelt refused to kill a captive bear tied up for him to shoot during a hunting trip to Mississippi. 80 years later, the use of the word bear gains popularity after WrestleMania is found tied up while cage dancing in a club in South Beach. You can't call him a captain if he tied himself up.
It was a great night.
That sounded so authentic.
It made me breakfast and everything.
It put a twinkle in Joe's eye.
Jeff Teddy Grahams.
Or a Twinkie.
All right. Last week, November 9th, 1989, the Berlin Wall comes down and the borders opened up. You guys remember that? 1989, the wall came down. Some asked why it took so long for that wall to come down. And Germany said they swear it ain't their fault. They weren't Stalin.
Whistle time.
All right. Scott, I want you to do the next one.
All right. On this day in 1959, The Sound of Music premiered.
Oh.
But for me, The Sound of Music is hearing the microwave bell go off.
Robin?
Okay, November 16th, 1992, an Englishman was using a metal detector to search for his friend's hammer, and he discovers a hoard of Roman silver and gold coins. The Englishman kept the coins, and his friend used the hammer to attack Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Nailed it.
One more stand up for this. This is more personal. November 17th, 1943, 80 years ago tomorrow, my mother was born.
Oh, happy birthday.
All right.
I guarantee she's not listening, but it's her birthday.
That's because she's so old she can't hear her.
Happy birthday, Mama
I'm
Savage.
sure she listens to the radio. She's 80-something, right? All right, EJ, you got history news for
Yeah,
us?
well, I'm going to put two in there because your mom's birthday was last week. Mine was the other day, November 14th of 1989. So, no, I don't remember the Berlin Wall.
Oh, okay.
But so
Children.
on this day in
Kids.
1938, Albert Hoffman discovered LSD.
Nice.
And the world has been tripping ever since.
Yeah. We owe him a thank you. That's a
Thank
good
you.
guy right there, man. All right, Jim, news, history, laughs from the past. You got another one?
Yes, this week in 1798, British seamen board the U.S. frigate Baltimore and impress a number of their crewmen. The American sailors were reportedly not only impressed with the sheer number of British seamen that came aboard their ship in spurts, but also how they effectively used a vigorous wiggling motion to find the galley and its stock of eggs. It took the crew days to scrub the deck clean.
Is that before or after they had
Okay.
Jim's always going with the seaman.
Son of a gun, man.
You're solid with those.
They need a
All
captain
right,
for
all right.
those.
Here you- everybody gets one. Scott Patrick, any more history for us?
No, I only had the one.
Okay. Russell
got one for
X-Mania? Yeah, Russell, go ahead. I know you got history.
No, I gave you mine. I only had the one.
All right. Joe Izzo, history?
Yes, I do. So, on this day in 1959, the musical Sounds of Music debuted and opened up in the Luntain Fontaine Theater in New York City. Yeah. But, unfortunately, Julie Andrews misheard the Sounds of Music. That was actually the Nazis shooting.
I did not see
That's
that.
our drama. Oh, man. All right, Joe, you get one too, bud.
That's a little out of my comfort zone.
All right, EJ. I don't know if you're a Jewish guy or not or anything like that.
No,
but,
I'm anti-religion.
no, me too.
Always a.
On this day in 1990, Milli Vanilli got stripped of their Grammy after it was discovered that they weren't actually the singers of their songs on the Girl You Know It's True album. They denied it, but whether you like it or not, Girl You Know It's True.
So it was actually two German men that were singing that. Not these handsome Miami brothers.
is true and you know it.
Blame it on rain. I liked both those songs, actually. I thought they were cool.
He said he didn't like what he was hearing, so I switched the channel.
Nice. All right, EJ gets one here. On the fly. All right, I guess, is that everything for the history of segment Laughs from the Past? Anybody else?
No.
Okay.
Because who's on the street right now?
Scott Patrick, man on the
Scott
street.
Patrick. Today in history, Oklahoma was admitted as a state. That is why it is Oklahoma Day. So we can have you out there doing all your gay things in Oklahoma.
He puts the ho in Oklahoma.
He puts the okay.
I'm excited.
Robin puts the ma in Oklahoma. Yeah. All right.
A
Well,
lot of sheep in Oklahoma.
Joe Izzo, you got a couple minutes before we move on to weather. You ready now?
All right.
Yay!
All right. So today we are going to start with a word that everybody loves. It's, if you live on a farm, I swear it's a curse. But, if you live on a farm, you might yell at it in the morning. If you live with a teenager, you got to tell them to stop touching it in the shower. That word, of course, is rooster. All right, we're going to stop choking chickens and start doing some history. So it comes from the Middle English word coque. It comes from the Middle English word of coque, which was to be interested in a place or names of place. So it is also known as a lump, which, I mean, if you ask some women, is absolutely true.
All right. Joe gets one.
So, in the Proto-Germanic language, it actually means bulge swelling, which is also factually true.
You get older, Joe, and you get that bolt swelling a lot.
I do.
Joe tells everybody.
I swell up so bad I end up in hospitals for weeks.
That's what happened to Joe. He was in the hospital, you guys.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Oh my God.
We're going to leave the door open for why his throat hurts.
My old lump ended up in my neck. Anyway, so.
It wasn't his
lump.
You got a couple minutes if you wanted to news stories too, bud. It's up to you because we got.
Oh, well, I was going through the news, and you know what? The news is quite sad. Even the weirdest news is really sad today. The oldest dog in the world, 31 years old, died. And I'm sad that dog died, but I'm sad that I haven't been able to raise any dogs to last nearly 31 months.
Ooh.
What are you doing to the dogs, Joe?
Don't ask, don't tell.
Joe, you have to stop treating them so rough.
apparently you're supposed to feed them.
Joe, how many kids do you have?
So that dog is 217 years old. I had to pull out my calculator to do the math on that.
Yep, poor Lucy passed away.
Well-
It was rest in peace, bitch. Can we do the weather? Let's do
So
the
I
weather.
just want to name some things. I just want to name some things and see if you guys can get it for my word of the day real quick. I want to see the hammer of a firearm trigger mechanism. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Can someone say it? Come on, you guys are on the radio. Don't be shy.
I don't know what you mean.
The weather? Okay, well, here, we can say the vein in the shape of is called a weathercock.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
Oh, I knew where it was going. I was just not
I knew the word you meant. I was going to say it rhymes with sock. If you mean rooster, another word for rooster. Yeah. A weather.
Did you know that it also...
We're doing the weather and we're doing the. I swear it's a curse.
Yeah,
At the
right?
same
We're all
time.
over the place. Well, did you know that it actually was used as a word to say the leader or the master or the chief person? So,
I did
James,
not.
from me to you, you're a real cock.
I did not know that. That's why I have you, Joe, to teach me how to swear. And the reason we don't use that word on the radio, you need to conclude. You have,
Okay, because in current modern times, it has been used to name the phallic part of the male genitalia.
Okay.
So we don't no longer refer to that on the radio, although I did check and FCC does say that I can use it in all the ways I did today.
I appreciate that. And are you learning not to swear on the radio by this segment that I've gifted you?
I'm learning how to stay legal while pissing off the FCC on the radio.
You're controlling
I grew
yourself.
up in the generation. I grew up in the generation of Howard.
I thought for sure he was going to do a rooster call like cock-a-doodle-doo.
I should have, but
Well,
I feel I'm all flustered. I'm all
need to move
flustered
on,
because
you
my
guys,
new technology ain't working.
It's going to be okay, Joe. We got to move along, though, and do the weather. I am James, Mac James, your
We're not moving
weatherman.
on.
And I'm going to do the weather now because I'm your weatherman. And I don't know whether or not, if Captain Jim were any whiter, if Manny would snort him. That's my weather today. See, we don't actually talk about how the temperature is or if it's raining when we do the weather. We do the weather. Your turn, Robin. And how's your weather doing?
Okay, so Elon Musk is bringing back the first drive-in movie turning it into a Tesla's new supercharging station. So now patrons can decide whether or not they can watch a bad movie while charging a bad car.
You got any weather?
Yeah, I don't know whether or not Will Smith slept with that guy, but we do know he slept with a bald woman.
Getting jiggy with it.
Scott, you got weather?
Yeah, but first I wanted to say that I was sad to hear about the lump in his throat. It made me think about like all the times I go on one night stands when I'm making out. I'd lightly choke them just to feel for an Adam's apple.
He wanted to know whether or not it was a man.
So my weather, I heard that Israel is actually asking for more funding, and I don't know whether they should be asking us or Planned Parenthood because they're both arguing for the right to kill babies.
Ooh, that's harsh.
I don't know whether Hamas asked you not to say that again.
Well, they don't ask in Hamas. All right, weather, Jim.
The acronym of Disney's Epcot stands for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. I'm not sure whether Walt Disney was envisioning the community of the future or if he was trying to build a senior community like the Villages, because I don't want to go to either one.
Russell, weather.
Yes. Okay. I was out at Walmart last night and had to decide whether or not I wanted to get all my items, or whether or not do I, want to get them, or do I want to play some kind of twisted version of Frogger, having to dodge all those big carts and everything else in the way from the rude, unapproachable employees who look at you like, you want something? What? So whether or not I want to continue my stock holdings in this company.
Right.
Then, of course, I get into the line. Well, no, first I had to go pee, and I had to decide whether or not I was just going to go in the closed restroom or I was just going to go pee on the floor. Okay? Either way, it's Walmart. I don't think anybody would care. And then I had to decide whether or not I was going to actually go to self-checkout or just run with my groceries out the door like everybody else seems to be doing.
I agree 100% about everything you just said. Their employees will not, like, I'm trying to get past them. They're just, they don't even see you, man. All right, rapid fire back to the current news, guys. Are you ready? All right, last week, an Irish chef broke a world record for cooking 119 hours and 7 minutes straight. 2 days later, he broke another record, a baking record for baking for 31 hours and 16 minutes. Well, I can beat that, no problem, because I've been baked for weeks, you guys. Mom.
Mike Pence has a new book called Go Home for Dinner. A MAGA book club called The Guillotine Gang gave it 3 out of 4 nooses. Just kidding. MAGA members don't read.
EJ.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that this is the most anti-Semitic time ever in history. Really? Really? I did not see that coming.
All right. Well, Scott. Oh, Scott. All right. Well, last week, a Massachusetts man took the Connecticut River in a giant orange hollowed-out pumpkin. Did you hear about that? An attempt to break a world record for paddling down a river in a pumpkin. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah. He's not the only one who climbed inside of Donald Trump, I heard. And I hear Trump pays extra for a good old-fashioned paddling. Yeah. The man had to accomplish the record by midnight as well, or his giant orange pumpkin was going to turn back into a fancy carriage.
Nice.
I think Jim had one.
In Kentucky, a recent photograph shows members of the book-banning group Moms for Liberty photographed with the neo-fascist militant group, the Proud Boys. The two groups have announced that they will come together to form Proud Moms for Liberty Boys. I tell you, nothing brings a child and parent closer than burning a book together at bedtime.
Last week, a Florida dentist was charged for the murder of a former brother-in-law over his sister's custody battle with the victim. Yeah, the trial was long and grueling, and to get a final verdict finally from the jury, it was kind of like pulling teeth.
Okay, Representative George Santos won't seek re-election after an ethics report came out alleging he stole the identities of campaign donors and then used their own credit cards of the donors that he stole from to make tens of thousands of dollars in unauthorized charges. Santos told Stand Up for News political reporter, I don't have time to run for re-election as I have all this shopping that I have to be doing.
EJ.
Well, I was actually going to follow up on hers. So he said he was alleged that they misused campaign funds and he is now under fire for it. So you mean he's the one that got caught out of all the ones that do it? I didn't think that you were going in that direction. This joke.
Last week, a Florida 5-year-old boy calls 911 just to get a hug from a police officer. Aww. You hear about that, guys? Yeah, he was actually upset, though, that it was an actual pig. He thought he dialed swine 11.
I love that.
When I want a hug from a bear, I just call Russell.
Hey. So FEMA's rolled out a new campaign to help seniors prepare for national disasters. The goal is to make sure that seniors not only can ride out major catastrophes, but won't be found afterwards.
Ouch.
That's tough news for you, Jim.
It sure is.
Ouch.
A man suffering from Crohn's disease gave himself fecal transplants using his mother's stool. And he reports that he started experiencing her menopause symptoms. My mother and I did the same thing together. And even though I didn't feel any menopausal side effects, I did constantly bother myself about when I was going to give myself grandchildren.
I didn't see that crap coming.
There's a big story last week about a human skull being found for sale at a Florida thrift store with the Halloween decorations. You hear about that, you guys? Yeah, well, they said it was no big deal. It's probably donated by a doctor or a hospital or something, like for educational purposes, whatever. But finally, we got to the bottom of it when Stand Up for News took to get to the real scoop. And the story, after further examination, we found out that it actually turned out to be a scary Halloween mask of Senator Rick Scott.
Oh.
It looked like a skeleton. Yeah, okay. I'm getting one.
Speaking of Crohn's disease-related news, Chick-fil-A in Brandon, Florida, is testing out their new drone delivery service. It's a great way for customers who are too busy or too tired to have their diarrhea-inducing food delivered to them. You can have like a drone deliver your Chick-fil-A if you live in Brandon.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Delivering hate by drone.
So
The delivery angel.
So we got to do some plugs. We've covered everything but plugs.
Butt plugs. Huh?
Yeah, everything but plugs. But
What?
I mean,
What?
all I want to talk about is birdies and how great Wednesday night was. Please come by every Wednesday at 7:30 for our open mic comedy show. We have an awesome feature. Bash from Tampa is featuring next week, I believe it is.
Who's hosting?
I guess that would be you.
Oh, yes. Come on down.
Captain
And
Jim's
Yeah.
first time back to host at Birdie.
Yeah.
Oh, Captain.
So,
Captain.
I want to do more jokes, but I also want to plug. So, you got any plugs, Mom?
I do. December 17th, I'm going to be doing a guest set at Sunshine Comedy Club.
Nice.
Jeff Lewis asked me to do a couple
Jeff
minutes.
Lewis?
before.
He's
Yeah.
awesome. I
Yeah.
love him.
Oh, he's a great guy.
All right, good. December 17th, I will try to be there. They got to be quick. You got any plugs?
Yeah, so November 22nd, this coming Wednesday, we're doing a Toys for Tots drive, not a Toys for Thoughts. It is toys for children, not for your local prostitutes.
I did that joke last year, but go ahead. It's still funny. It's still great. It's still amazing.
It'll be at
You get the
Tap This
whistle.
Bar and Brewery in Port Richey. And then I have a show coming up at Cigar Castle December 9th, and I will announce the feature shortly. Not on.
Nice. Russell, quickly, plugs. I know you got the goods.
Yeah. Monday, we'll have the open mic in Plant City at Herb Labs. I am also at Herb Labs. It starts at 7. I'm going to have some music people in there as well. And we are getting the Parrot back. It's going to be a Center for News event. And we're getting another one in Orlando. Okay, I'm working on those days. And I'm talking about somebody in Ocala. So we may be going all over Central Florida.
All right. Joe Izzo, congratulations for his Stand Up for News, for repping
congrats,
Stand Up
Joe.
for News and winning the roast battle you had there the other day. Thank you for repping.
Yeah, thank
and
you very much, man.
Congratulations for the win. I heard he killed it.
Thank you very much.
Jim, you got a plug?
You know,
Just come out and see me with Stand Up for News next Wednesday.
All right.
At
Well,
Birdie's.
now I guess it's time to sing our song.
Oh, well, can I say one more thing about the Tap This Bar and Brewery? So whoever brings a toy, unwrapped and new, you get 20% off of your tab.
All right, great. Stand up for news.
Stand up for news.
stand up.
Stand up for you.
Stand
You
up.
can stand up too.
Stand up.
Don't sit down.
Don't sit
Stand
down.
up now.
Stand up.
Stand up for news.
Stand up.
Stand up for news.
Stand up.
All right, see you next Thursday at 7.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, we won't be.
WTA